Today I'm gonna build a real civilization on Minecraft using MineColonies mode. This mode allows you to construct magnificent buildings and welcome active citizens, miners, lumberjacks, builders, or even soldiers. Each contributes to the defense and growth of the city. Today I'm gonna tell you the story of a deserted plain that gradually evolves into a living, organized, and prosperous colony. So sit back and follow me on this adventure, where every decision will shape the future of an incredible colony. So, this is the new world in which I'm gonna build my colony, and I can't wait to explore and discover it. But I'm obviously gonna start at the beginning by breaking my first logs that I will use to build my first item, a magnificent crafting table. And I'll take the opportunity to build my first pickaxe that will allow me to collect my first stones. And without realizing it, I already come out with 50 stones, enough to build a whole collection of much better quality tools. I now have all stone tools, a crafting table, and a furnace. Now all I need is a little bit of food, and what better way than to find sheep and collect wool to make something to sleep in. I'm always impressed by how quickly the first day goes by when you start an adventure. And I think I have an excellent spawn, because I can see in the distance what looks like a huge biome. Okay, let's not waste time because the sun has already set. I need to quickly craft a bed to sleep under the stars. And it looks like I found my first cave, in which I hope to find coal to cook my meat. No coal inside, but I take the iron. Perfect, I can see some coal over there in the distance. By the way, I hadn't planned to catching fire while fighting. I'm also gonna try to avoid dying to a creeper right from the start. Please give me some cooked food, and what a pleasure it is to eat. Now that I am full, I can use the 4 irons I collected, which will help me to build a shield and a magnificent iron pickaxe. That's enough to make me feel comfortable in the idea of exploring this first cavern, which contains mostly copper from what I can see. Hopefully not just copper, iron too. And how many monsters are there in this cave? I have to admit that I'm quite satisfied with this first exploration. I already have some basic resources for construction that will be useful to me. I also killed a lot of monsters in the cave, which allows me to have a lot of monsters resources as well. And I also have 2 stacks of coal, 1 stack of iron, and a little bit of copper. And I think I'm gonna trick myself a little by crafting some iron armor. Well, I will collect my few items to quickly go exploring again. And then I like to quickly head back north, because I think I saw a bottle here. Actually, I'm not crazy. It's nice and I hope it contains incredible treasures. First chest with, well, a treasure map, that's right on topic. And another chest with quite a bit of food. So, treasure, where is it you are hiding? My last treasure hunt was quite a while ago, so it should be around here, and now all is left to do is dig to find it. If I'm not mistaken, chests always appear in the center of the chunk. And what does it have in store for me? A nice treasure with many resources. While I am at it, I also spotted a portal ruin with some gold in the chest. Speaking of gold, I don't want to deprive myself by collating this magnificent block. And that's it for the initial resource harvest. I think I have everything I need to start my colony, although I don't know the mod at all. The only thing I know is that I have to start by making a camp. From what I understand, there's one that shapes like a wagon, which can be easily crafted with chests. And there's a second one that shapes like a boat. I like the idea of making the wagon. I just need to gather a little bit of food so I can make the chests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chests give me the wagon. And what happens if I click on my wagon? A large message pops up. Use these supplies to assemble a supply camp to serve as the foundation for your own colony. You shall find a salvaged stone hole block and build tool to lay the groundworks of the new colony. Founding a colony demands resilience. Beyond the basic necessities of shelter, sustenance and healing, lies the imperative to fortify against the looming threats of piracy and barbarism. Yet, should you endure these trials, the potential for growth knows no bounds. From artisans to scholars, miners to alchemists, your settlement holds the promise of evolving into a self-sustaining bastion of prosperity and knowledge. Make sure to find a flat, open area large enough for the camp's layout to place it. There it is, I finally found the place where I'm gonna settle. Between you and me, I find it crazy. I explored many biomes and finally found myself next to the spawn. And I chose this place because the mod specifically stated that I had to find a flat and open area. And that's exactly what I have here. I even have small hills over there. They're large and not too stiff. I have to say that after building several bases on top of mountains in my previous survivals, I was a little fed up with having to go up and down them. Now I have to choose the architectural style of my colony. There are many styles and I have to choose carefully because beyond the architectural aspects, I also have to gather the resources needed to build the style in question, which is why I chose the medieval oak style. Honestly, the castle looks great and it suits me just fine because it says you have to be near a river and a forest, and it is exactly what I have here next to my base. I also have all the animals I need around me: chickens to the north, cows in the center, to the west there are sheep, cows again to the south, and to the east there are chicken, pigs and even horses. Oh baby cow, if that's not a sign, I don't know what it is. Well, now how do I set my camp in the middle of my fellow creatures? I just clicked on the camp and a schematic appeared. From what I can see, it consists of a trailer and a tent on the back. I can move it using the controls here on the right and even make it turn on itself. That's pretty cool. Down on the left I have a list of resources and it looks like it's mostly complete. So it looks like the first building is free. And if I press the green button, oh, it pops up. Welcome to MineColonies. Now that you have your supplies, what about finding a nice location to place your town center and start your colony? First of all, I'm curious to see what's in this camp. If I start with the tent, there's a crafting table, a bed and a barrel in the back. And in the barrel there's a little bit of paper, but most importantly a town center and a build tool. And if I go here to the back of the trailer, several barrels filled with quite a lot of resources. In the chest there are all the stone tools, but I won't need them. And I gathered all the resources that were in the other chests here. So there is quite a bit of food, bread, potatoes and carrots, but also some building blocks like wood, stone and cobblestone, and also some water. And the sight of all this food makes me think that building a field is not a bad idea. I'm gonna make some space next to my tent. Well, maybe I saw things a bit too big, but at least I was able to plant all the resources I have, as well as some sugarcane on the side. Looks great. So now I have a ton old block in my hand, and if I click on it, it looks like it's searching. Oh wait, I'm being attacked! Isn't that a witch? How did I manage to kill her without even losing a heart? Witches are not so strong after all. I have the impression that this block gives a list of town halls for each type of civilization. And if I click on the construction tool, it opens a menu with a lot of categories at the bottom, such as agriculture, decorations, education, military, and walls. And if I click on basics, I have several constructions that appear, including the town hall on the bottom left, a central administration for colony management. Stop, let me read it. And so if I click on it, I have two choices. Okay, looks like I have a large building that appears. I've moved it a little further away so I can see it as a whole, and now I'm confused because there are several levels on the left. And what if I click on level 2? The building evolves. Level 3 has a magnificent red roof. Level 4 has a lot more stone than before, and level 5 is huge with a nice tower. But let's talk about this architectural style. It's just too beautiful. I think I will only be able to build level 1, but on the other end, previewing level 5 is good. It shows how much space the building takes up, so that I can position it properly in the city. So if I look up a little, I can see that all the hills around me make a circle around this plate. I'm thinking it might be nice to have a central square just in front of the town hall with buildings around it. With that in mind, I shall place the town hall here facing the lake, with an esplanade in front. Let's put it where I want it, and I think this place isn't bad at all. So if I go back to level level 1, it doesn't change position, so I should be able to beat it now. Okay, so it didn't appear this time. I guess the next step is to open the book. A settlement appears in front of me and I have to sign it. I need to come up with a name for my city and I'm thinking of calling it Bovidum. By signing this settlement, I found my colony. And I have what appears to be the main menu for managing the city. But before I look at the menu in more detail, I have my first 4 citizens who have already arrived. Kyler, Adeline, Murray, and Myler. There is also a boundary that has appeared around my city center. I guess this represents the final size of the building. In any case, it doesn't stop my citizens from going out and looking around. They seem to be already living their lives. So if I continue exploring the menu, I have 3 options on the left here. The first one is construction, which seems to list all the material needed to build my town hall. And then I could have a map of the city. For that, I have to put a Minecraft map in the inventory of the build. It seems like buildings have inventories, as well as a menu to hire mercenaries to protect my city. However, it won't be free. Apparently, the next step is to create a flag for my colony, so I spent a lot of time designing it. I ended up finding a pattern that looks like this. It looks pretty medieval and I like the colors. I'll go with that. Then I have an information tab. It seems to be a journal since I have all the important information here, namely the spawns of my different citizens here. A permission tab here, but I'm the only one running the city. A tab on citizens with their overall happiness here on the left, and information directly about my citizens on the right. Then a statistics tab with the number of citizens here, the number of children, unemployed, and finally an alliance tab. And so if I click on my citizens, what happened? I have a menu that opens here with all the characteristics, their requests, their inventory, and their happiness. By the way, here we see that Myler is not so happy, and a family tree with the parents, partners, siblings, and children. That looks promising. And I also noticed that Myler here has a quest for me. I just spoke with Myler. He told me to build a builder's hut. And I just noticed that a huge boundary appeared around my base when I picked up my tool. I guess it must be the size of my city. And the problem is that I can't build it. The game tells me that I need to have the corresponding block in my inventory. Well, I just looked at the crafting list and it is possible to build a block for the builder's hut. Great, now I have to place it. This time the building is highlighted in blue and I can place it. And what's really cool is that I can see the 2 buildings in their final forms, one next to the other, very convenient for placing them. This layout suits me well. I need the buildings to be close enough in their final states, so that it creates narrow streets like those we had in the Middle Ages. This is already a construction site. Alright, I'm gonna go back and talk to Myler. Myler told me that I did the right thing by placing my builder's hut, and then gave me a quest log. Oh no, Mary got killed by the zombie. That's very sad. She won't even survive until episode 2. But on the other end, she has already been replaced by Juliana. Well, RIP Mary. And I have a new quest from Kyler. Kyler explains to me that I now have to click on the hut block to be able to assign a builder and give him the necessary resources. Come on, really? I already had 1 death last night. I don't want to get a 2nd death and I need to protect my colony. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so I can already see that the assigned builder is Myler. And once again the list of resources that I need to build the building. So I asked Myler to start the building and he shows up right away. I can see in the chat that he tells me he has taken his position and he doesn't want to work. I'm gonna ask him why. He tells me he needs a shovel so that he can terraform the land. So I'm gonna give him mine, and he clearly knows how to put it to good use. He's performing everything for me. How satisfying it is to have someone building for me. And I guess it's time to go to bed since he stopped working. And I really need to get them some beds too. While Myler is working, I have a list of resources I'm gonna have to gather for him. Myler clearly shows me that he's not able to work without logs. Actually, neither do I, and I need to collect a stack of them. And now that I'm thinking about it, why am I breaking these logs? I did get a stack directly from the camp. Oh great, there are even 2 stacks. I quickly checked upon my chests and was able to gather almost all the resources. After all, I overall needed some blocks of dirt, stairs and slabs of cobblestone, a crafting table and quite a few variations of oak wood. The blocks I'm missing are framed oak blocks, and when I click on them I see I can craft them using a architect's cutter, and the craft is made with logs, stone slabs and some iron. So how does this cutter work? In this tool there are several groups on the top. For example, I can make roofs, pillars, lights and even timber frames. Then I have to specify the main material of the block at the bottom and the material of the frame at the top, and I get the 11 blocks I wanted, and I now have all the materials and can give them to Myler. Here is a gift for you. With all that you should be able to build building. And there he starts building. Myler has outdone himself. He has completed the first building of my civilization. However, I don't know what he's doing on the roof. He must be watching the sunset. So let's visit this first building right away. Well, there's the living room here with the building's block and the start of a staircase. Maybe there will be a cellar in the next improvement of the building. In any case, it looks nice and it's great to have the first building of my city. And I'm gonna tell Kyler about it right away. He congratulated me on this first achievement and gave me 32 cobblestone as a reward, and I see that I now have 2 more quests available, one by Myler and one by Kyler, who will get killed if I don't protect him. That's fine, Kyler is regenerating fast. I'm super curious to know what his quests are, but I'll have to wait until the next episode. I'm very happy with this first episode. My city already has its first building and 4 citizens. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode.